The weather looks nice again today, and it seems like there's a lot of events setting up for the weekend anyways. And with that in mind, what did I read today? How about this one, where apparently there's more companies using drone deliveries for things like food, and this one, it seems like it's Chipotle that's getting into the game. This one says, introducing Zipotle. Chipotle partners with Zipline for aerial delivery. And where's this? Apparently it's happening in the Dallas area, it says. And it says, Chipotle Mexican Grill today announced it's partnering with Zipline, the world's largest autonomous delivery system, to fly digital orders to guest locations in Greater Dallas. A small number of Zipline users will have access to Zipotle starting today, ahead of a broader service launch in the coming weeks. Chipotle's new delivery option, Zipotle, will use Zipline's fleet of quiet, zero-emissions aircrafts to make super-fast, convenient deliveries that save customers time and keep orders dine-in fresh. Chipotle's entire menu is eligible for Zipotle delivery. And as they say here, it's kind of interesting, I guess, in terms of some technicalities. It says the aircraft will hover about 300 feet in the air while it lowers the line to deliver the food. And in general, it says it'll be available from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. CT, and it says it will soon expand to 10 p.m. I've yet to see one myself, and I mentioned before I'd order something with the drone delivery just to see what it's like. I'm pretty sure for the most part it's just like a regular drone I see every time, except it's dropping something through a line. No difference than, I guess, a drone dropping a life jacket or something like that in the water. And with that thought, actually, in terms of drones and water, as you know, a lot of drones, they're not waterproof. So when it's raining, for example, you're pretty much grounded. But how about this one, where a company is intending to release, I guess, a waterproof drone for the regular user, where it's meant to go around, let's just say, things like boats and all that. This one here, it's the HOVERAir AQUA, and they say it's 100% waterproof, and it's a self-flying drone camera, and specifically designed for water-based activities. It has a 4K camera that films at 100 FPS according to this, 12 megapixel HDR photos, a 112.8 CMOS sensor, and it says it has hydrophobic lens with self-heating anti-fog technology, which I would imagine is necessary if you're splashing the thing all over the place. It's waterproof IP67 rating, and the interesting thing for this drone, it's under 250 grams. Specifically, it says it's under 249 grams, which for a lot of places would make this exempt from things like registrations, for example, in a lot of places, and you'll have more flexibility to fly this, which is really enticing, I suppose, in many ways. The price of it, they're doing a crowdfunding, and it says you can get it for about $9.99 US. Is there any drawbacks? It says the flight time is about 23 minutes and it has level 7 wind resistance, which is 33 knots. It does have built-in storage too, 128 gigabytes, which is actually very welcome. So what is the negative? I think one thing I potentially see is it seems like for the gimbal, it's only one axis. So I would imagine in order to stabilize the photo, you're getting digital stabilization. So it won't be top-notch quality per se, but I would imagine for action shots like these for a lot of people, that would be perfectly fine in terms of the trade-off. I'm not sure just by watching the videos whether or not you could actually practically use this to film scenery in general and fly very high. For example, let's just say it's raining and you want to fly 90 meters in the air or something like that, and just to capture the scenery in a stable way. That doesn't seem to be the main intent, as again, a lot of their marketing materials shows people throwing the drone literally into the water and following, let's just say, boats or whatever, splashing water everywhere. I think this is kind of great overall. As you know, there's that other company too releasing a 360 drone, and it makes you wonder whether or not that will put more pressure on companies like, let's just say, DJI to actually try to incorporate these types of features and functionalities into the drones. That'd be great in my opinion anyways, if more drones have the capability to fly through the rain and all that at a reasonable price for the consumer too. And the other piece of news I was reading a lot today, it revolved around that news I talked about yesterday, where apparently in Ontario, there was a homeowner who attacked an intruder who went into his property. And the odd thing was, it says the police actually charged the homeowner. Now, what would be the reason for that? There's some technicalities apparently where you have, I guess, a right to defend yourself here in Canada, but there is this thing where the force that you use has to actually match, let's just say, the situation. So as an example, let's think of it like the other day where that drug addict ran up to me, for example, bumped into me, and it was aggressively threatening me and so forth. I mean, Realistically, since he bumped into me and so forth, I could have defended myself if I wanted to. For example, push him back, or if I was really that terrified, let's just say I could have potentially hit him or something like that. But in a situation where, in that case, if I actually knocked the daylights out of him, started stomping him on the ground, and let's just say I killed him or something like that, like I'm over exaggerating, then I would be held accountable. So that's kind of the argument here. And the crazy thing that's generating more controversy is a lot of news stations here, they're interviewing lawyers in terms of this case, and a lot of them are saying, oh no, like the homeowner may be in the wrong because of this and that, but just listen to what they say and it makes you wonder what is going on here in general.
It's not the Wild West. Just because someone breaks in doesn't mean that it's open season on that intruder. There's so many factors that the criminal code says needs to be considered to make a decision whether self-defense exists or not. So if someone comes in with a 2x4, you don't get to shoot them. At least if they're not doing anything with the 2x4.
I mean, to me, it's one thing you could say, okay, well, that is the law, unfortunately, if someone wants to really interpret it in a technical way. But at the same time, you have to sit there and wonder, okay, this doesn't make sense overall. If you were in that situation too, you're in your home, somebody, let's say, breaks in, what state of mind would you be in? Are you gonna sit there and have tea with them and say, okay, Mr. Intruder, what are you here for? Are you just trying to steal something? I mean, what happens if that guy is violent? How would you know? It's a little too late, correct? If you're gonna take that much time, which is not realistic at all. Even that comment that the lawyer talked about, I thought it was completely ridiculous. Like with a knife, it may be true legally, where if a guy walks up to you with a knife and he's standing there, that's one thing, for example. But if he's actually coming up to you, charging at you with the knife, then that's a completely different thing, which kind of dictates how much force you could actually use reasonably to take the guy out. I mean, to me, that is ridiculous in my opinion. Imagine that, the guy in your house doing that. Can't cops, for example, shoot someone if they're holding a knife and they're telling them to drop it and they still don't? Can't they make the discretion whether or not to use like lethal force too in those instances, I'm thinking?
If you're standing back, you know, grabbing something and just holding the knife, that's a completely different scenario than if you come at me with the knife. Because if I perceive that you're going to use lethal force against me, I can respond in kind. Because anything can be used as a weapon. You could take a pencil. It's a pencil for writing, but if you stab somebody with it, it's a weapon. So it depends on what the weapon is. Was it a gun, for instance? That ups the ante.
One topic when it comes to self-defense anyways, here in the country that a lot of people constantly argue about, it's pretty typical in a lot of other places around the world where they say you should carry around pepper spray, like for example, women, just in case someone bigger tries to attack them while they're walking. Here it's actually illegal for you to carry pepper spray because it's considered as a prohibited weapon. So you have almost no ability to defend yourself in those regards, especially if someone is bigger and they overpower you. It's too late, correct? I mean, you have to be prepared, but they have so many rules like that, which makes it actually more dangerous for people to try and defend themselves in many ways. I thought I heard some buzzing noise, and just an example of how easy it is, in my opinion, to locate the drone and the operator overall if you really want to. All right, see you guys later.